Hello, buddy.
Hey, Mofo. What's up, Mofo?
Mofo. That's a new one, but I'm not
You
sure
don't,
that that's something kind for me.
it could be kind. Mofo, do you know what it means? Mofo?
Morpho, like when something is like in a strange shape, maybe.
No, actually, Mofo is short for motherfucker. Mofo.
Okay, okay, I understand. So I thought that you were going to call me in a kind way, but I was mistaken.
Well, the good thing about Mofo is that it allows you to call somebody a motherfucker, but without the social rejection that you get when using such vulgar words.
Without pronouncing it, and people maybe don't understand what you are saying.
Well, any native speaker will understand Mofo.
Okay, mofo.
Mofo.
Exactly,
Mofo.
mofo. I won't use that, but it's good to know in case that someone else call me that way.
Someone else calls.
Someone else calls me that way. So what's the
Uh,
news on your side?
the news on my side is that I don't know if this happens to you, but when you are sending a WhatsApp message
Mhm.
and you are asking like for somebody to do something, but it's not really a question,
Mhm.
but it's structured like a question. It's like a polite command.
Mhm. Could you give me an example?
Like for example, if I'm late and I'm like, can you give me 5 minutes? I write that in,
Uh,
but it's not really a question. You know, I'm not asking you a question. I'm just telling. It's like a polite command. Like instead of saying, give me 15 minutes, or give me 5 minutes, I can use a more politer structure or a more polite structure. Sorry, like, can you give me 15 minutes? But I've always wondered, do I put the question mark at the end of that?
or
Because
not?
it's not really a question.
And it reminds me something that I learned before. It is what are friends for? Like it is a question, but you could say like as an affirmation, as you
Yeah,
said,
yeah,
it's a
yeah.
thank you. What are friends for? And the first
Well,
time it
that,
was like, that's the structure of a
but I think
question.
that makes more. But that's for me that it's it's easier to not to put the question mark there. But like when you're writing something like, hey, can you give me 5 minutes? I have had the confusion of, okay, do I put a question mark on the end of that or do I not? Because I'm not sure it's structured as a question, but it's a polite command. And I did a bit of research, and you don't
Mhm.
actually use the question mark. You just use a full
Okay.
stop.
Okay. So can you give
Mm.
me 5 minutes?
So
Uh-huh, uh-huh, uh-huh.
the next time you're speaking with a woman and you ask her, hey, can you lick my dingleberries? If you are giving her the polite command, instead of saying, hey, lick my dingleberries tonight, you can, if you say, can you lick my dingleberries? Don't put the question mark on that, because you're giving her the command, but you're giving her the command in a polite way.
Conversation was going polite until that point. Okay.
Well, I had to corrupt the conversation. It was
Exactly.
too too wholesome for my liking.
Exactly. Okay, that's interesting. Can you give me 5 minutes without the question mark?
Yeah, because I used to have this doubt. I remember like when I would ask my students, like, hey, can you give me a sec or give me a minute? And I wasn't sure, do I put the question mark on the end of that or do I not? Because it's technically written like a question, but it's actually called a polite command, is what they call them. Instead of saying, give me 15 minutes, you can structure it like a question, but you don't actually use the question mark at the end. You just use a full stop.
But it could come across as rude if you don't use the question mark.
Not at all. Not at all.
Because even though the other person will know that you are not asking, maybe the question mark suggests
No. Not at
that
all.
you
No,
are
there's
being polite. No?
no impolite connotation with or without the question mark. No, not at all.
Mhm. Okay, can you give me 5 minutes? Okay, I will apply
So
it.
anybody that's listening to this, just remember that when you're giving somebody a polite request, you're not actually asking them. You're basically just telling them, but you're trying to be more polite about it. You don't need the question mark.
Even though you are using the question structure.
Question structure. That's right.
Structure.
That's right.
You don't need to use the question mark, and it's the same. What are friends for? Things something interesting.
Who uses that expression?
What are friends for? I use all the time. When you told me, thank you, Geoffrey, for correcting me, I answer you, what are friends for?
You know, I think I haven't heard that expression used, I think, since like 1995 or something. I don't know. Okay, you've got to update your expressions. You got to update your expressions.
Maybe I'm the elder one here, or the older one. Elder and older. What is the difference between those?
No difference. If I remember correctly, no difference. She's my elder brother, or sorry, she's my elder sister, or she's my older sister. No difference.
Okay, I'm the elder here, so maybe that's why.
Okay. I think you would say I don't know if you say I'm the elder or I'm the eldest.
Eldest.
I'm elder. I think you would say I think you would say I'm the eldest, or I'm elder than you.
The eldest
I'm not sure if you would say I'm the elder. I know that you look old. That's for sure.
Thank you for that. And you look younger.
Look at this. It's a face of youth here.
Okay, the youngest guy here.
Yes, that's me.
Okay. So, what are you going to do? What time usually you go to bed?
We've spoken about this.
I'm spoken.
We have spoken about. You're just trying to make conversation for the recording now. Come
on.
No.
I'm curious about, because it is like 9 p.m. for you.
Well, I'm gonna eat. I'm gonna drink a little bit of alcohol. Okay. I'm gonna cry because I normally cry because my life is
not good enough.
And then I'll probably I'll probably hit the hay, hit the sack. I know you love those expressions around 11:30 maybe, I don't know.
Okay. Hit the sack. I love that one.
Why not hit the hay? What's wrong with hit the hay?
Hit the hay también. Also hit the hay.
Come on. What is that?
my brain trying to. Okay. To hit the hay and to hit the sack.
Get it together, please. Get it together.
Get my act together.
Get your act together. What do you find more arousing? A picture of a naked woman or a book of English expressions? What turns you on more?
When I can use an expression talking with someone.
That is like, you find that more sexually pleasing than making love to a woman using a new English expression?
No, not at all. But it gives me some. What's the substance that we get when we have sexual relationships? I forget. Like dopamine. Dopamine.
Is it dopamine?
Dopamine.
I don't know actually what that's called. Dopamine or dopamine. I'm not sure.
Okay, dopamine. I think dopamine. So it gives me a little portion of dopamine when I can use a little hit of dopamine when I can.
Do you think that's normal or?
Because I think it is normal when you are trying to do something, then you get a hit of dopamine. When you are thinking to do something and then you finally got it, I think it is like you feel a satisfaction. you get a hit of dopamine.
But do you think you know more expressions in English than you do in your native language?
Yes, for sure, because I think, I'm not sure, but I think that in English there are a lot of expressions. So
One of my favorite expressions is have you heard, this is not actually not, this may be one of the most famous expressions in English, and I'm sure you know it. It's not over until the fat lady sings.
exactly, that's a good one. And do you know where does it come from?
Do you
Where
know where it comes from?
do you know where it comes from?
No idea, to be honest. And if you know, I'm gonna be pissed off if you know.
Yes, I
You know
know.
where it comes from?
Yes.
You're
Because I was
sick.
curious.
You're sick.
I was curious about what
You're
does
sick in the head.
a fat woman have to do with something, and I investigated about it.
You sicken me.
But is it common to use that expression? Do you use
Not
that
really,
expression?
to be honest. No, I think the most common expression is, actually, another great expression is, Joffrey loves testicles. That's a great expression. I don't know if you've heard that.
I have one because I know that you are running out of expression, but I have one for you, and I listened to it today. It's to cut to the chase.
No, I heard it.
I heard it. I heard it again while listening to an audiobook, and it was cutting to the chase.
To cut to the chase.
To cut
Great
to the
expression.
chase. Exactly, like someone was talking and someone else says, "Okay, just cut to the chase, and talk."
Basically, when you're talking about something, but then you want to go directly to the point. You don't want to, talk about maybe the details or the less important things. You want to go straight to the point. You want to be frank,
Exactly.
cut to the chase.
Exactly. When you want someone to stop beating around the bush.
Okay, now I think you're showing off. Okay. I think you should just stick with Joffrey loves testicles. That's your expression.
But yes, those expressions, I think that cut to the chase, that's a useful one because I'm listening many times while watching movies or listening to audiobooks.
Well, when you're watching a movie, you don't listen to an expression, you hear the expression. Because the big difference between listen and to hear is the sound that enters your hearing unintentionally, unconsciously. So you were watching the movie, but you were not expecting to hear the phrase. The phrase kind of came without warning. That's why if you're walking down the street, you hear, for example, a car crash, because you were not expecting, and you were not focusing on a car crash.
Okay.
It's something that entered into your hearing without warning. That's the big difference between listen and hear. You hear things when certain noises enter your hearing without warning, without expectation, without you expecting to receive that information.
But
that's why now I'm listening to you, but I can hear, for example, dogs barking outside. I can hear my wife cooking. I can hear different noises that I'm not paying attention to, but are entering my hearing.
But when you are watching a movie and you are paying attention to the movie, you are hearing?
Well, no,
because you are paying attention to what the actors are saying.
Well, yeah, you could be listening to the actors,
mm-hmm.
right? That's why you listen to music. You listen to a song. You listen to the radio, because your attention is being focused onto that noise. But when you hear something, like you listen to the radio, but if some information pops up or something, some new data or some story, you hear that because you don't know that it's coming. It's something that you're not expecting. That's why, for example, I heard something really interesting on the radio last week. I was listening to the radio and I heard a story about.
Okay.
That's the difference, right? You're listening to the radio, you're focusing on the radio, but when new information comes from that into your hearing, you hear that because you don't know that that's coming. You don't know that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're not expecting that information. You don't know that 10 people died on a cruise ship in Jamaica. You hear that information. You don't know it's coming. It's new. It's there's no warning that that's coming. That's kind of the big difference between listen and hear.
Okay. So thank you. Yes, I think that I got it.
Listen is like a very general, like you listen to a song.
But you are paying attention when you're listening.
But when you start listening, when you start like receiving specific things in the song, you hear that. I heard that word in a song. But listening is more of a general thing. You listen to this radio, you listen to music, but you hear certain individual pieces of information from those general sources of noise. Or sound. I don't know if I'm helping or confusing you even more.
No. I think that I got it. Let me try something. Like I'm listening to you, but I'm hearing your wife making dinner.
Yeah.
Exactly right. I'm paying attention to what you are saying, but I can hear like a noise in the background, things like that.
So basically, any time that you are listening to something, radio, music, and some new information, it could be a word, it could be a sentence, it could be even like news about some disaster in another country, enters your hearing. It's always going to be the verb hear. Anytime you discover new information, new words, new stories, it's always going to be here. You're always going to use the verb here. Okay. I hear that something bad is happening in somewhere. Okay. Have you? And for a question, have you heard about it? Have you heard?
Have you heard about it?
Yeah.
Okay. Great.
You never say have you. You could say have you, if you're talking about a song, you could say have you listened to the song?
Okay, because you know that you need to pay attention to a specific song.
But you could also say have you heard the song?
Have you heard the new hit? Okay.
Exactly.
Great. Thank you.
I'm gonna get going.
Okay, bro. So
bon
appetit.
What is that? What are you?
It's my French coming out.
So you're bored with English. You've learned all the English phrases. Now you want to sink your teeth into some French phrases. I see.
Exactly. So in English, how do you say that?
You say Joffrey loves testicles. That's the translation.